today's vlog. It is a day in my life. I just got ready. It is 7:50. I'm about to head to campus. I have an 8:30 class to TA, and so I got up. I tried to make sure that I get there around 8:10 or 8:15. So I'm currently about to head out. I ate something for breakfast this morning. I feel a little bit unsettled, which is not so fun. So hopefully everything will be fine. I'm excited. It's only my second day TAing for this class, so we're still getting into the groove of everything, and it's the first time TAing a class this early in the morning, which is like a normal time for literally everybody else, but early for me. So I'm about to head out and get to campus. So class went well. I had to just run in and essentially teach my section. Now I'm about to head home because I want to get some stuff done before I have to make it back to campus because I have a meeting with my advisor. So on these days, I typically am just like bouncing back and forth, which at this point I'm just used to. But yeah, it is 10 o'clock. Gonna head home and then come back to campus later. So it is a few days later now. I just did not get to finish the vlog because I just had a lot of things come up. I'm working on HSA this year, which is a History Graduate Student Association, and I'm also working on another association that I'm a part of, and they're coming up with a conference. And so I got super duper sidetracked by that, but it is another day. It is several days later, and I'm on my way to campus. I have to TA, and I have a bunch of like tiny to-do list things to do. So I figured I would pick the vlog back up again, and here we are. Okay, back in my favorite spot essentially, but I did go to class this morning and had a really good TA session because it is like really early in the morning. Sometimes it is kind of slow, but today was really good. We had a really lively discussion, really good vibes, and I tried something new and it did work out, so love that. Afterwards, I chatted with my other TA, Julia, and we just talked about our work and had a really good discussion. So that took a while, and now I'm home. I have a ton of emails and planning to do for the rest of the semester, so that is the plan for the rest of the day, just computer work, and I'm hoping to get it all done today because I do have a little trip coming up to New York. It is Wednesday, but I need to start prepping tomorrow, so I want to get all my work done by today so that by Thursday I only have a little bit to do so that I can fully dedicate myself to prepping for the little couples trip that I'm doing. So it's gonna be cute. Very excited. I am kind of sleepy, kind of tired, sleepy girl energy. It is so dark in New England, and I come home and it feels like I should be in bed. So I'm trying to resist the urge and trying to get as much done as possible, but it's very tempting to go take a nap right now, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do my work and try to wrap up for the day. So I finished all the stuff that I had on my to-do list for today, and I'm still so low energy. Today has been definitely a low energy day. I definitely think the weather has a lot to do with it, because whenever the weather is like really gloomy for a long time, I find my energy dips so much. And so it's been a gloomy few days, and so I just really didn't want to do anything today, but I got it done. Responded to some people, started making a budget for HSA. There's a lot of fun things in the works. I have some things that I'm planning that I'll probably talk about later. It's not anything crazy, so it's not like, you know, influencers are like, big things are coming. It's not anything like that, but hopefully something that some people might be able to attend and stuff like that. So exciting for me. But yeah, I'm about to make lunch. I know it's like the end of my day and I'm making lunch, but I had like a chai on campus and a little pastry, but I'm still very hungry and it's about to be 3, so I'm like, I can still like have like lunch technically. But I wanted to talk about the whole DEI conversation. I've been thinking about a whole lot and I haven't really mentioned it on the channel, but it's definitely something I've been talking to people about, like in my personal life and also in academia. I feel like it's just like a conversation that's happening a lot now because of the new administration and just a lot of discourse on DEI, the merits of DEI, things like that. And I want to first say that it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, because I feel like DEI kind of like sanitizes what it actually is, like what's the purpose, because I think it's harder to say that you're against diversity, equity, inclusion than to say that you're against DEI. But I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching my videos here are either students of color or students who are in academia and recognize the value of diverse perspectives and inclusion and things like that. But I have been struggling because I've been wanting to like make a video on my TikTok, because TikTok is how I process my thoughts in a lot of ways. It's very real time, fast, things like that. But I've also been struggling with this idea of always having to defend why basic equity is important. I feel like it's so counterintuitive. Like, the people who get it, and I don't think there's any convincing the people who are like, feel like leveling the playing field or giving disadvantaged people a better chance is infringing on them in some way. And I don't think you can convince those people otherwise. And that's what I struggle with, because I'm like, I want to have healthy dialogue about the things that are happening in this world, and especially as it intersects with academia, because my entire channel is about academia. And I have very strong beliefs as a Black woman in academia that there needs to be more of a focus on equity and inclusion, not just for race, but for like literally everything else, like gender, sexuality, disability. Like, we need people from diverse perspectives, not to check a box, because that's kind of the part where I struggle with, because I feel like seeing how, more so in the corporate space, where a lot of these like businesses and companies are kind of like rolling back their diversity and equity initiatives, especially a lot of them that came up in 2020, just seeing how quickly they can do that. I saw someone make a really good post where they're just like, that just shows that that did not become a part of their system. It did not become a part of like the core values of that company. And I think the same could be said for higher education. Not the diversity and equity initiatives that had been implemented, they should at this point be the norm and not even be required. But of course, we know that we live in an imperfect society, and that without certain safeguards, that there is just gonna be a lack of diversity, because academia specifically tends to lean towards people who have means, because it's a very privileged space. And so in order to pursue higher education, you have to have some level of access, and in order to continue in higher education, you have to have continued access. And so it's just frustrating. And I think on a structural level, obviously it's like such a huge thing when it comes to like things like funding, and when it comes to like, especially like people in STEM, I feel like I don't even know what I would do if like my funding was going to be pulled. Luckily for history departments, a lot of them are just funded through universities, but even universities are having to kind of think about their funding sources. And so it's just a really dicey thing on a structural level to realize like, this isn't just like a few ignorant people being like, why do we have diversity and equity initiatives? Like, you're disenfranchising like other people and making other people, you know, doing the whole reverse racism or reverse whatever argument. But yeah, I think I don't want to engage on sort of like an individual level about debates on whether or not there's a merit to equity and inclusion, because I believe fundamentally that there are. But on a grander scale, like, we do have to kind of like understand how to combat that rhetoric. So I'm gonna stop ranting. I don't even know how much of this rant is gonna make it into the vlog, but I just feel like I had to express that frustration, because I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling it, and you're not alone if you're feeling frustrated. And if your funding or anything like that has been affected, I am so sorry, and I don't even know, like, words can't even describe how just sucky this entire situation is. And there's just like, it just sometimes feels like it's so overwhelming, but we're in this together, and we just live in a strange time. got in and took Harley on a mini little walk, and it is another TA day. So I got up early, went to class, had office hours, and just hung around the department and got some work done. I was listening to Fourth Wing on my way home, and oh my goodness, I am obsessed. I usually stay away from books that are overhyped or just seem like they have a lot of fanfare around them, but for some reason I'm like really into this book, and I was not expecting that because one, I also am not a fantasy reader, and I am kind of surprised that like the fantasy element didn't kind of like throw me off. But I really do feel like it leans more romance. Well, yeah, I think it leans more romance, and I'm a huge romance girly. So I have just been devouring. I've been listening on audiobook because I do not have the time to sit and read as much as I want to. So audiobook it is. I would say so far, I would give it like a 5. Actually, let me follow up when I'm like done with the series, because sometimes, you know, the endings kind of like throw you off, but so far, I feel like it's a 5-star read. I've been enjoying it. Someone in the department actually recommended it to me a while ago, and I did not have the capacity to read anything fun. But now that I do, I have been very much into it. Also, I didn't even recap my trip to New York. I included some clips in this video, but I did go to New York for the weekend with my boyfriend, and it was super cute, super fun. We just did a bunch of touristy things, enjoyed the city. We both love New York, and it's like not too far from Providence, so we go whenever we get a chance. And it was just so like chill and nice. As I said, it's cold, but like things like that are things like that make me look forward to this time of year. And I love that we always do it like when it's like peak winter, because it gives us something fun to look forward to, and it's just like really fun vibes. So love New York. I also saw Hamilton on Broadway, which, let me tell you, dreams were made. I am obsessed with Hamilton. If you don't know, that's like one of my key personality traits, is that I'm obsessed with Hamilton. And I have seen, that was my 3rd time seeing it. And so each time it just got better. Like it just got better. It was always good, but it just got better and better. And now I'm like, okay, like this obsession is not going away. It's actually getting worse. So yeah, I would definitely see it again on Broadway, which is insane to say. I mean, not anytime soon, because I mean, it's not a cheap place to go. And so if I have like, you know, time in the future, then maybe, but loved it. Like that was definitely the highlight of my trip, was getting to see Hamilton, because why not? So